secret bases, nuclear submarines, and so much more. It's all here. Let's dive right into it. Okay, so right now you can't actually travel to Russia at all because of their ongoing conflict with Ukraine. And while you used to be able to travel to Russia, you've never been allowed to go here. Mezhgorye, Bachkortosan, if I pronounced that wrong, I am so sorry, but it's a closed town located in the Republic of Bachkortosan in Russia, located in the southern Ural Mountains. The town is a closed administrative territorial formation, meaning that it's only open directly to the federal government of Russia, and to be completely honest, there's not a lot of information about what goes on in the town. Construction started around 1991 and ended in 2002, and the earliest government decrees relating to the town date all the way back to the 1970s. But of course, those decrees are classified. While there is no way of knowing for sure because there's not much going on the top side of the town, there are rumors that a massive bunker capable of housing 60 to 300,000 people exists underground, with a variety of intercepting tunnels. And another theory states that the underground base is used for nuclear weapons testing, a scary thought that unfortunately we have no way of verifying or discrediting for the time being. The UK has quite the contingency plan in the case of all-out nuclear war. It's known as the Letters of Last Resort, and not only is it top secret, but it's also pretty foolproof. The Letters of Last Resort are 4 completely identically worded handwritten letters written by the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom to the commanding officers of the 4 British ballistic submarines. The letters are delivered in person in a sealed envelope. When the commanding officers receive these letters, they do not open them, but rather place them inside of a safe within a safe inside of each of the 4 ballistic nuclear-armed submarines. The letters are only to be read in the event that an enemy nuclear strike destroys both the British government and also kills or otherwise incapacitates both the Prime Minister and their designated second in command. When a new Prime Minister enters into the office, the letters written by the former Prime Minister are destroyed without ever being opened and then replaced by ones containing the contingency plan of the current leader of the country. Seeing as the world has never experienced a global nuclear war, it is assumed that no one other than the Prime Ministers who wrote the letters have ever read any of them. Hopefully it stays that way, because if someone is reading them, it's probably because something really bad happened. DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, is a research and develop agency of the United States Department of Defense responsible for the development of emerging technologies for use by the military. While many of DARPA's projects are publicized, many more are not, which makes sense, I suppose. I mean, they are in charge of engineering some of the country's most important defense efforts, one of which included detonating a massive nuclear warhead on the mostly uninhabited Go Islands deep in the South Atlantic in 1958 in an effort to create a long-lived radiation belt that would degrade any kind of nuclear missile aimed at the US by the Soviets. Along with this, DARPA has manufactured interfaces capable of controlling insect actions, lab-grown blood, plant-eating robots, and mechanical elephants. Oh, and they are also responsible for the development of the internet. If those are the kinds of things they are capable of and upfront about, I shudder to think of what they refuse to tell the public. The location of the United States Secret Subsurface Guided Nuclear Submarines, SSGNs for short, along with their objectives, are an incredibly close-kept secret, and for good reason too. For one, they are worth billions of dollars, and for another, they contain intercontinental ballistic missiles that, like the British ballistic submarines, contain nuclear warheads. If the location of any of these SSGNs were to be discovered by the wrong people, it could significantly endanger the United States Defense Forces, not to mention the safety of the world. That's not to say there aren't any exceptions to the rule. In 2013, for a brief moment, the location of SSGN USS Seawolf became known after the submersible surfaced in Norway, but that's pretty much the extent of public knowledge on the vessels. In fact, for the majority of the time, the only people who know the exact location of the submarines are their commanding officers, which is insane when you take into consideration that along with the commanding officers, these vessels are manned by crews who have a general idea of the area they're in, but have no idea exactly where they are at any given moment of their deployment. talk about top secret. For those of you who don't know, the Vatican, located in the heart of Rome, Italy, is actually its own country. The status was granted on the 11th of February in 1929 after the signing of the Lateran Treaty, which helped put an end to the political and religious turmoil in Italy. And while many believe the Roman Empire fell in 476 AD, many others believe that it lives on to this day under the guise of the Vatican, and that it is now more powerful than ever. Whether or not this is true remains unknown, due to the secretive nature of the highly secure Vatican secret archives, located presumably in the basement of the Vatican, said to hold the truth about the fall of the Roman Empire, as well as many more of the world's most guarded secrets, including suppressed historical documents that could quite literally alter the course of history, and controversial religious texts that could challenge the teachings of the very organization guarding them. The only people with access to the extensive library are the Pope himself and qualified scholars granted permission by the Pope himself. Given that the archives might very well hold the answers to some of the world's most pressing questions, I really hope that one day it will become open to the public, but I guess for now, we'll just have to wait and see. In 1717, a German man named Johann Bessler convinced the world that he had created a machine that could just about turn the entire world on its head. A self-sustaining mechanism that ran on nothing but perpetual energy that could run continuously for at least 54 days at a time. This is, of course, based off a test he ran where the machine ran for 54 consecutive days at a time. This machine also underwent many other tests and passed many rigorous inspections, but in the end, it was destroyed by none other than Bessler himself, who completely demolished his invention in a paranoid fit of rage because he believed that without a patent, and given the groundbreaking nature of the machine, it would surely be stolen. Or at least that's the official reason, but considering the fact that this machine would have essentially put Big Oil and Big Electric completely out of business, I personally can't help but wonder if there's another reason that the invention and its incredible capabilities were never shared with the world. It is said that Bessler took the secrets of this device to his grave, but again, not so sure. Could the existence of this machine and the way in which it operates be the biggest kept secret by world governments to date? Perhaps, but the hard truth, we may never know. In China, when you wish to report a crime, you are instructed to turn to your local and provincial governments. If you feel as though those governments have failed to serve justice, only then are you to turn to the central government of China, located in Beijing. But here's the thing. The central government uses direct complaints to determine the effectiveness of the local and provincial governments, and the more complaints brought to the central government, the worse the local and provincial governments look. And so in order to avoid scrutiny from the central government of Beijing, these other smaller governments have come up with a plan. A very malicious plan. To avoid getting in trouble, the local and provincial governments hire thousands of individuals to hunt down, imprison, and torment anyone attempting to file a complaint with the central government. They are taken to what's known as black jails, which are usually abandoned buildings or unoccupied homes. For a while, the central government claimed to have no knowledge of this practice, but they later admitted to being aware of what was taking place outside of Beijing. Whether or not these so-called black jails are still in operation today is an answer unfortunately known only by members of the Chinese government. Now, it's no secret that the North Korean government is full of secrets, but perhaps none more closely kept than Room 39, officially referred to as Central Committee Bureau 39 of the Workers' Party of Korea, and also referred to as just Bureau 39, Division 39, and Office 39. Why 39? I don't know. Like I said, the organization is top secret, but what we do know about it is this. It's a party organization that seeks to maintain the Foreign Currency Slush Fund, which is a fund used for miscellaneous income and expenses for the country's leaders. And we also know that it's estimated to bring in between 500 million and 1 billion US dollars per year, possibly more, and that it likely makes its money through illegal activities such as counterfeiting, producing controlled substances, and even international insurance fraud. I'd say I'm surprised, but I'd be lying. The Bell is not a very scary name for a supposed weapon of mass destruction, and to be fair, neither is the German name for the device, Die Glocke, but unfortunately an unassuming name doesn't change the fact that if the weapon is indeed real, it's absolutely terrifying and absolutely capable of causing some pretty serious damage. Also, if the weapon is real, it was developed by some pretty bad dudes belonging to a pretty oppressive military, i.e. the dictator-run military of Germany circa 1933 to 1945. The weapon is said to be the product of occultism, anti-gravity, and free energy suppression research capable of taking out entire civilizations. Furthermore, it is described as being 4 meters 12 feet high, 3 meters 9 feet in diameter, and filled with a purplish metallic looking substance that is supposedly highly radioactive. If the German government does in fact possess this weapon, I personally hope we never find out the hard way. And then there's the Greenbrier Spa facility, a privately owned facility located in West Virginia that sits on about 11,000 acres of land and has some pretty insane security measures, including an underground bunker. Yeah, as you can imagine, Greenbrier Spa was pretty intensely guarded and was, at one point, strictly reserved for the world's most elite individuals. The building has been around since 1778, and the underground bunkers were installed during the Cold War in an effort to protect the members of Congress should the need arise. The spa itself has welcomed 26 different presidents, many more politicians, and countless celebrities, while the secrets of what the inside of the spa/bunker looks like have since been revealed to the world as it's now officially open to the public. The secrets of what really went on in the most exclusive spa in the world back in the day remain a complete and utter mystery. I have to say though, I'm guessing it was a whole lot more than just seaweed wraps, pedicures, and deep tissue massages. Alright you guys, those are some secrets shared from me to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe. Cheers.